Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. Today, we're going to be talking about Harley Quinn Season 4, Episode 9. I know Episode 10 just aired, I believe, last Friday, so I'm going to be doing Episode 9 today, which is Sunday, September 17th. There we go. And then you will probably get the final episode some point this week to finish out the season. So we start off black and white. Harley and Ivy confused about who organized the books on the coffee table, and we find out that Harley has a clone, which that part I was not expecting this episode. Definitely was not expecting a clone scenario to happen, but apparently the clone has been helping out Batgirl with all of the recent crazy crime happening. So they start fighting each other. The backstory is that Jim didn't realize, he was using the clonomat. There was a hair on it. It was one of Harley's hairs that Ivy brushed off of her because apparently Harley sheds like a dog, I think was the exact comment. And apparently the clone version of Harley is 95% Harley, 5% potato. And she ends up kind of putting butter from her elbow in actual Harley's mouth. And I was not expecting a clone. I'll be honest with you. That was definitely a surprise out of left field for me. Meanwhile, part of the reason that Lex Luthor, yeah, we don't need to see his prominent cheeks. Part of the reason to do it was for Superman. The reason he blocked out the sun with the ozone is Superman becomes unpowered. Ivy becomes unpowered because she is part plant, so she can't really use her abilities and is very weak because, photosynthesis. And he wants to sell anybody that wants to have access to the sun can come live on his moon for a ridiculous amount of money. Typical evil rich guy fashioned. So Ivy then decides, let's vote out Lex Luthor. That is the plan here. The Harley duo, I guess I should say, Harley and Clone Harley, are just hanging out, fighting crime, doing things. They're trying to go after Lex Luthor, and then I believe the clone is actually the one that comes up with the idea to vote out Lex Luthor. So that is the plan. So Ivy has to go, kind of smooch up to or ass kiss a bunch of the members of the board. We then learn that real Harley supposedly killed Nightwing. So Clone Harley says, "Oh yeah, I was there. You're the one that killed Nightwing. You are, kind of messed up in the head because you're suppressing all of your villain tendencies, and you were unconscious when you did it, and then you forced a friendship bracelet on him." So I was right in that regard. That Harley was the one that ended up actually killing Ivy. So pat on the back for me, I suppose. I'm curious how many of you figured that one out too. But the clone thing just threw me off this episode because I was not expecting there to be a clone. So we end up in a golf tournament because right now there is a tie. So Ivy was able to get everybody together. So right now there's a tied vote. I believe there is 12 members of the board altogether. So it's like 6 versus 6 right now. And Ivy doesn't actually get a vote, because she is the CEO, but I don't think she actually gets a vote. I could be wrong. Ends up accidentally killing the guy, which is kind of funny. So then Harley ends up going to Dr. Psycho to go back into her mind to see if she actually did it. And she's like, I'm a good person, as she is strangling Nightwing with the friendship bracelet. So Harley did actually kill Nightwing. She's the one that ended up killing Nightwing with the friendship bracelet. Lex is like, oh, why didn't I think of killing this board member? Because then it would be forced into a tie vote, and when there's a tie, he still remains the head of Lex Luthor Corporation. The guy's dead. She popped out an eyeball. So Harley didn't want Dr. Psycho to know that she was the one that actually killed Nightwing. She kind of wants to hide it, so she ends up getting in touch with Flash in order to go back in time 5 minutes. Ivy still ends up killing the guy, this time with the club as opposed to the ball. Bane, he makes true to his word. He headbutted Ivy on public TV for Clayface. because Ivy and Clayface now have a big feud going at it. And he was like, sorry, I did have to do this for somebody else. So Mount Macaroni is good. Clayface is good. Bane should be good as well. We then get the Harleys fighting each other a little bit. The clone handcuffing the original, because the clone hasn't technically done anything wrong, where Harley did actually kill Nightwing. So that is a problem. But clone Harley is taking it a little bit too far. She handcuffed a nun for pirating the Kardashians, and then she handcuffed another dude. I don't exactly remember what he did. But the wife of the dead person, Devora, there we go, that's her name right there. Clegg's wife, she decided to vote with Ivy, so now Lex Luthor is no longer the CEO. He ends up going to the moon at the end of the episode. And then we have a nice battle here between the two Harleys. One has blood, one has potatoes, and then the one ends up as a smashed pile of potatoes on the ground, and somebody's like, oh boy, they're giving out mashed potatoes. Kids, get your spoons. I thought that was kind of hilarious. That sounds like such a dad thing to do. And good to go. Lex flying off. They turned off the beam. Everybody's getting their color back. Good to go there. The kids eating the mashed potatoes, which is hilarious. Harley can't, bring herself to say that I was the one that killed Nightwing. And then in an interesting turn of events, if I can find the image, Batgirl gets shot by the Joker, and was not expecting that. Because that, I believe, actually does happen in the comics. It's a little bit more brutal because he shoots her, paralyzes her. I don't think she actually dies. And then he does some other terrible things to her, which I don't know if I can mention in this video, so I'm not going to mention. If you're a comic book fan, you would know, or if you watch some of the other movies, you would know. But Batgirl might be dead too. We don't really know. She's kind of bleeding out here. She just got shot to the stomach. And if she's not dead, she's paralyzed. At the very least, she's 100% paralyzed. So I can definitely see Harley killing Joker, because in this episode, Harley says that she's done with the Bat family because it's putting a huge strain on her relationship with Ivy. It's putting a huge strain on her mental health, and she just needs to be done. So Harley is no longer in the Bat family. She's probably going to go back doing her regular villain things, which makes sense, because I don't think anyone was really expecting Harley to turn into a good person, if that makes sense, because she never was in the comics. So, I know it's not the same thing as the comics, but they do pull a lot of information from the comics, and to my knowledge, Harley was never a good guy in the comics. So that's kind of where we end the episode, and we do have an episode 10, which I might be watching and reviewing that today too. Depends on if I have the time. If I do get to it today, I will be putting that review out tomorrow. So overall, we'll give this episode a 7 out of 10, because I was fairly easily able to predict what happened. Not the best, not the worst episode. We learn of Lex Luthor's master plan, the reason why he blocked out the sun. We also learn that there's a clone, which big surprise, which is probably why I'm ranking this episode higher than it would be, because that threw me off. Also, the Joker killing Batgirl as well, because he wants to get his credibility back. He wants to be a villain again and get his credibility back, so it makes sense that he wants to kill Batgirl, so he was just waiting for the right opportunity to do so. And he shot her. I don't know if she, as I said, no idea at this point if she's actually dead, but she is shot, and that's the end of the episode right there. Interesting, though. Interesting episode overall. I got to see Flash, got to see Luthor, kind of a nice combination of colors and not colors, because they did the whole thing in black and white. I'm wondering if they did that to save some money, couple bucks, because I think black and white is cheaper than color. At least I would think it would be. It probably was originally. I don't know, you're talking, we've had colored television since like the 60s or 70s. Somewhere around there. I don't know when colored TV became a thing. But, good episode overall. Definitely looking forward to the season finale. I have not heard word yet if there is a season 5. I will probably look into that for next video. But other than that, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.